Hey everybody, it's Monday, it's a new week, it's time for a new episode of LonsTV. Before I get into the main review, a quick car update. For those of you who haven't been following this sad saga, my car about a week and a half ago just totally died. The engine turned over, I made it about halfway down my block, and then kaput. So I donated it. The tow truck arrived today. I actually donated it to KCRW. So you Jason Bentley fans out there, you owe me one. You'll buy me a beer next time you see me. It's totally cool. And they actually took it away. So I spent last week clearing it out. And I mean, I'll be honest with you, like, the cabin took almost no time to clean out. Like, I'm messy and there was a lot of junk in there, but I just threw it all away maybe 10 minutes. The trunk, though, I didn't even realize until I cleared it out that I never cleared out my trunk. I mean, at the most, I would travel with like a bag or two in the trunk there, so I never really needed all the space. So I didn't even realize, but I got this car in the year 2000, and there was stuff at the bottom of the trunk from the year 2000 that I'd never pulled out of there, and it was like in sediments. Like, I was peeling back the layers, and it was year by year. So I'd see things, and I'd be like, SAT tutoring materials, 2003, you were a fine year. And when I got to the bottom, I actually found, I swear to God, the Norton Anthology of English Literature, Volume 2, the Romantic Period through the 20th century. I mean, I read that as an undergraduate at UCLA, and I graduated UCLA in the year 2000 as an undergrad. So that has literally been sitting back there for 11 years, if my math is right, and I think it is. Anyway, that just completely boggles the mind that I never bothered to take that book out of there. I mean, I've moved a couple times. It's just insane that all of that stuff was back there. Not a ton. That was the coolest discovery, was the Norton Anthology, because it was just like, whoa, glass from the past, Norton Anthology. Thank God, if I want to read a selection of T.S. Eliot, I can now. But, you know, I found a couple CD books back there, too, which was cool. It was, like, things I listened to in, like, the early aughts. Brought back some memories. But, yeah, mostly it wasn't cool. It was just, like, trash. And, I mean, I don't know why. Looking back, I have no idea why I was throwing envelopes and, you know, random things back there, books and stuff. Found a couple old books in addition to the Norton. But just, like, don't let this be a lesson. I never was getting the full trunk. I could have put, like, 8 dead bodies back there if I ever felt the need to, like, pull a Dexter. Roomy and spacious. The 1999 Nissan Altima, amazing. I had never actually filled it up, even in 11 years of piling crap back there. So I rented a Chevy Impala, which I was driving around for some of this week just so I could, you know, go see about getting a job and do some videos and do my shows on this weekend and all that kind of stuff. And, you know, it was nice. It was a pretty good car. My only complaint about it is it has the stupidest design CD player. It was so stupid, it took me like 10 minutes to figure out how to play a CD. Because you'd put the CD in, and almost every car, you put the CD in, and it just plays the CD. It's like, new CD, I'm turned on. This time, you have to turn on, like, the sound system. There's a big button. So you turn on the sound system, and then it turns on the radio. And then you have to go find, like, the CD button, and you hit that. And then you're in, like, the CD menu. And then you have to hit play to get the CD to start. It's like 3 steps to play a CD. Like, this, I'm putting in a CD. Like, at least start to play it and give me the option if I want to turn off the CD. But other than that, a lovely car. I had a nice time all week riding in it. But, I mean, come on. Stupid. What a stupid CD player design. Ridiculous. Speaking of things that are kind of stupid, the main review today, I want to talk about this service, Klout. Klout.com. My friend Loren Feldman talked about it in a video. His videos are subscribers only, so I can see it. Are you subscribed to 1938 Media? If you're not, you couldn't see it, but maybe go subscribe. It's like a couple dollars a month. Anyway, he reviewed it on his channel today, and you know, he's not only down on the service, but he's down on the whole idea. For the uninitiated, the idea is they are sort of looking at your social media activity, particularly Twitter, and they're trying to come up with metrics and ways to evaluate your sort of influence. Like, how influential are you? How much of a sort of a thought leader online are you? And unlike Loren, who feels like this is just a silly endeavor, generally, I sort of get where they're coming at this from. I think there is a real problem here that Klout is trying to solve, which is that there's no way to look at someone's Facebook page or Twitter profile and really get an idea of, is this person a worthwhile person for me to follow? Now, notice I said a worthwhile person for me to follow, not a worthwhile person. I think too often in these conversations, this is like, it becomes a matter of coolness, and it's like, no, deciding if you want to follow someone you don't know personally, it's really just about, are they in your niche? Are they talking about things you personally find interesting? Like, looking at follower counts or little bios on Twitter, it's a shitty way of telling if this is someone I'm going to be interested in. In a way, it's a lot like the problem I think Netflix have. And I love Netflix a lot. I mean, I'm a huge fan of the service. But their problem is they have too much content. They have this library of tens of thousands of movies, and they don't know, like, how to get you to the one that you want. And Twitter is a little bit the same way. Like, there's so many great people and there's so much great content that it's hard to, like, pick out what the right content for you is. And Klout, I think, is like it's a step down that road, and that's good, and it's something that is going to be useful, because, you know, like, when you're looking around Twitter and you're looking for people to follow, like, it's really difficult to tell who's going to be somebody who, this is a person who's interesting and thoughtful and going to produce great content, and then this is like some douchey blowhard. And there's so many ways to sort of cheat the numbers on Twitter, and I actually asked a question on Core about this because I was curious what people do, because you always hear that, like, oh, they gamed it so they have a lot of followers, but I found out, I mean, you know, a lot of it were things that I suspected, but, you know, it's, you auto-follow every bot that follows you, or there's software that you go and auto-follow a ton of people hoping they follow you back, or, you know, some people manage to get themselves in recommended users like once upon a time and it's just stuck. There's a ton of ways to, like, inflate your numbers, even if you're a person who doesn't have a huge audience. So I get that Klout is trying to fix this problem. The problem is they've simultaneously made the problem too difficult. Like, it's quick and it's something easy. I just want to know, like, who's a good authority on these kinds of topics. Like, Klout is running these crazy metrics, and there's all sorts of different things. You know, they've given names to everything, like, what's your amplification number? And then you can click on it, and you can see, like, here's what we mean by this, and here's how we're deriving it. And then they have titles for everybody, too. So it's like, you're a specialist, and you're a leader, and you're a celebrity. And then they'll always tell you how they're getting you there, but it's so complicated and so sort of labyrinthine. I feel like most people, myself included, don't really want to take the time to learn what everything means. We just want, like, the number or the rank. We just want the topics. Kevin Rose had the, you know, now I'm forgetting what it's called, but the Twitter where you could sort of sign up and it would, like, it's like a directory of Twitter, and you pick what your sort of topics that you're an expert on. I'll look it up and put it in the comments or the description below, but that seems like it's a better idea of how to do this, because it's more about what do you talk about than you're just, like, sort of number, your, like, Twitter power number or whatever that Klout is giving you. So anyway, I feel like it's too complicated, and it's thus too hard to use because it's giving me more information than I really want. And I think the other problem is it's giving me more information I want and not really the information that I actually want, which is what is it like to actually follow this person. And then I think the second problem is they don't really fix the problem. Like, your Klout number can be just as misleading as your Twitter follower number, and it seems to jump around a lot. And I mean, I get that they want to change the metric all the time so you check back. They want your Klout score to constantly be, you know, changing so that you look at it all the time. So, oh, have I gone up or down? But the problem is that then it's, like, impacted wildly. Like, I had a tweet about Leslie Nielsen on the day he died that got retweeted a lot. It got on the front page of Twitter, and my Klout score was like 80 the next day. And then it went back down. I think I'm in the 50s now. But you see what I mean? Like, if you looked me up that day, like, was I more influential and interesting that day than any other day? Like, of course not. If you were being accurate, the number wouldn't really move up that much. But they're doing that, I think, to, you know, because you want to see those big spikes, and then it gets people excited. So anyway, I mean, and that works for sites like Chartbeat, which is minute-to-minute analytics, and it's very compelling. You want to keep watching it because it changes all the time, but it has to be accurate to be compelling. It can't just be numbers that shift around all the time that nobody really knows what they sort of stand for. So, you know, that's my take on Klout. I don't really love it. I'm not really impressed with it. But I feel like, unlike Loren, that there is a problem here, and it's good that they're trying to solve it, and I just think I would probably go about it different. So that's LonsTV for today. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in and subscribing and leaving nice comments and leaving unfriendly comments. All comments are welcome, and I will see you back here tomorrow.